Well, my first encounter with activism was at the age of 19, and that was right after Damascus Spring. Basically, it was a movement that started in Damascus in 2001, where all oppositions, intellectual people, human rights activists have come together to say that we need to change, and basically achieve democracy and human rights in this country. So my first encounter with activism was at that time, which is like an essential period for the, let's say, the modern history of Syria. And I think what brought me to become an activist also pretty much related to the education that I had in my family. I grew up in a secular family, which was like, oppositing the regime at the time, where we were learned at the house that human rights is the main thing that everybody should work for. This is something what you decide to do with a free choice, because this is the only thing that you want to do as a person. I have nothing to worry about in the whole country except, or in my whole life, except having a better place to live in for all Syrian people. It was an awful scene for me when I saw like a real invasion of military into the city, where we had more than 10 big trucks carrying hundreds of soldiers with weapons and heavy weapons as well, getting into the city. At that moment, I realized that what actually can be worse than fighting civilians demonstrating in the street, had no weapon except their voices, and fighting, or basically trying to defeating them by all this big number of trucks and weapons. I've seen many afterwards, like many trucks and many heavy weapons and parallel bombs, and I lived in a war zone basically. But the first experience of like really experiencing an army invading a city was a very shocking experience for me. Especially when you're between the people and you know that not even a single person has a weapon to fight if this army wants to kill him, for example. Before 2011, I always had the feeling that I was alone with just few friends who believe in human rights and were like really taking action to change. It was an oppressive regime where everybody was active before 2011, were either put in jail or like had a travel ban or went through many investigation in security branches. In 2011, when the uprising started in Syria, the first or the best experience for me, it was the first time that I went to the street chanting for freedom and human rights and dignity. That's basically something I will never ever forget. And it's because I waited 27 years till this moment came where I was able to express with a lot and big amount of people in the street demanding change in the country.